everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, Better Get Back Personal Fitness. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. Mix it up here. Awesome. Thanks for those who your patience. Hey, Jessica. Patience with me the last couple weeks. Had a couple things come up kind of unexpectedly, or just take a little longer than expected. So we had to postpone the last couple weeks, but we're back now, back and raring to go. So again, thanks for your patience on those couple weeks, and let's get back to it. Tonight, talking halftime. We're halfway through 2023. Hard to believe already. We're about halfway through, but we're there. So great time to check in, to recalibrate, to see how things are going for us. So we're going to go through a few tips tonight, a few reminders of how to make the most of halftime, what the halftime would be, kind of using our sports analogies. If you're not familiar, we'll kind of review some of those. Basically, kind of intermission for us, and some steps we can take to kind of review what we've done so far and gear up for the rest of 2023, so we can finish strong and on that good note. So thanks everyone for being here, and again for your patience these last couple weeks. So the first thing we want to talk about for halftime is, if you think of halftime, it's again this thinking of a basketball analogy that we use here. Football, 4 quarters kind of in the year. So we're again about halfway through. We're at our 6-month mark here. We're about halfway through that 6th month. So a great time to again revisit and check in. So at the end of half, head to the bench or the locker room, depending on the sport and the level. I usually go to the locker room, and you kind of have a few moments. Typically, the coaches will give you a few moments to let things sink in, maybe to unwind, maybe to shake off what just went on, things to process, maybe kind of let you get your own head wrapped around things. And what I'd like to suggest for you guys to do is the same thing. Take a bit of time, some downtime, some you time. Let's really, this week and a half maybe, let's really book in some self-care time, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's a massage, maybe it's a nice walk outside, maybe it's just some time disconnected from your devices, and just spending some time outside, or some time to yourself, listening to some music, whatever the case may be. Find something for you that's a bit of self-care. Maybe go take a yoga class, or a class at your local fitness center. So then again, you're not planning the workouts, but you're doing something you enjoy. Maybe you get a good book and read, audio book, an actual book that you can sit and read, and again, go sit somewhere nice, a quiet spot, and get some reading in. Maybe take yourself for a nice dinner, and whatever is some nice self-care for you, just to give us that kind of downtime, because we're so focused on the goal, which is great, but it's kind of always there. It's always top of mind, and maybe it's always kind of at the forefront of what we're thinking about. And sometimes it's just nice to get away and to pull back and to give ourselves that little mental break from thinking of that and having our mind on that so much. We've talked here about being at work and taking an afternoon break, or taking some time away from a difficult situation to come back with a fresh perspective. So we can do that in this instance as well. Take some time away. Give yourself some you time this next week or so. Some self-care and some you time. I see you. Welcome in. Good to see you. That'll give you that downtime away from just focusing so much on the goal and on the outcomes and on the progress, and am I tracking it properly, and am I where I'm supposed to be? Give yourself that break from that. Let things sink in. Let things kind of resonate a little bit. Give yourself that time off from them. Give yourself that few minutes of that halftime to get a little break from it. And then when you come back, again, you'll have a fresh perspective. You'll have a clear perspective. Your mind will be a little more geared again, and probably more enthusiastic towards that. It'll seem new and fresh again. So we can work back towards that. So again, the first part of a halftime break, usually you get to go to the locker room, hydrate up a little bit, and have some time to yourself. So along this next week, take that time to yourself to, again, let's find some self-care. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the chats. If you're here on recording or with us live on any platform, let me know what some of your favorite self-care ideas are. And again, maybe you sharing yours will give someone else an idea who maybe isn't strong in their self-care game, or maybe just gives them a different idea. So first part of your halftime, take some time for you. Take some time to get away from the goal setting, the progress tracking, excuse me, to kind of give yourself a little mental break from always being on and working towards that goal. And to celebrate yourself for working on this goal that we've been setting since back in, again, October, if you've been with us, or anytime, whenever you joined in, whenever you set your goals for 2023, celebrate your success. Reward yourself for what you've done so far. Maybe you're just starting. Reward yourself for getting started. Take some time to yourself. Take some time away. Do some self-care. And again, that'll help you be more focused, more relaxed, have a clearer mind, and be ready for that second half of the year. So usually the next part of a halftime, again, you have your time to yourself. Maybe you unwind, hydrate up a little bit. Then usually the coach will come over and address the team. He'll address the players. Okay, gang, here's what was working for us. Great. Here's what didn't work for us. So great. Let's try to change that this half. We got away from our game plan maybe towards the end of the half there. Let's refocus. Let's get back to playing our game. Or maybe it's something like our opponent did this to us. It gave us this difficulty. Here's how we can kind of combat it. Or here's our counterattack to what they're doing. And remember, we talk here about when you're working towards your goals, life is kind of the opponent, because life is going to throw different things at you, different offenses, different scenarios, different roadblocks and obstructions in your way. You've got to kind of work through those. So life is the opponent. So what has the opponent done to us, and how can we kind of counterattack that or work around that? Or again, maybe it's knocked us off our game plan, and we just need to get back to what works for us, and our game plan will overcome what life has thrown, what our opponent has done towards us. Maybe there's some X's and O's looked at, the game plan. Again, maybe you review some plays, maybe you tweak some plays, some adjustments. So this is all things that we do. Again, take your time away, do your self-care, and then take some time, block some time off in your schedule to really visit what it is you're doing. What's been working for you? What hasn't been working? What was working? What happened when it stopped working? What's come up? What has life thrown at you that maybe you didn't expect when we try to think of different scenarios, when we make contingency plans late last year or early this year when we talked about those? There's going to be certain things that we just can't always predict or expect. So what happened? What was the result of those? What could you do next time to avoid those from maybe knocking you off your wagon as much as they did? What can we work towards? What kind of counter attack can we do? Hey, Michelle, welcome in. What can we do to overcome those obstacles that life throws at us? That's part of our halftime as well, is reconfiguring our plan, either getting back on track or adapting our plans or adapting new plans. Maybe life has just thrown a bunch of stuff at us, and what we originally had planned just isn't working for us. Maybe it worked for a while, but life happens, things go on. Maybe the plan before just doesn't work. Maybe we have to kind of start from scratch, clear the table, get a new piece of paper out and create a new plan to get us through the next half of 2023. That's okay. That's part of it. Maybe the goal has to be adjusted slightly. Maybe the end date, maybe get more specific with the goal. Maybe you weren't quite specific enough back in October when we set our 2023 goals. Maybe now's the time to fine tune that and say, you know what, I've got to clean this up a little bit. It's too vague. I thought it was specific, but it's too vague. And I'm spinning my wheels now because I'm not really sure how to get there. And again, if you're not sure, now could be a time to actually work with your coach. And they can help you with that plan, that modification, those tweaks. You too, Michelle, good to see you. Hey, Natty, welcome in. A great time to work with your coach. And again, because the coach can be an outside eye looking at what it is you're doing. And then again, maybe they see something that you just miss, and they can give you that guidance, that little game plan. Sometimes when you're in the game itself, it's hard to see what your opponent's doing. That's why pretty much every team has a coach, because they can see that stuff from afar. Typically, they've played, they have the experience, they can see from outside what's going on that maybe you just don't see in the midst of the game, in the midst of the action, trying to counterattack and defend and work through all these things. Sometimes we just don't see it when you're in the moment. So maybe a great time to actually sit with your coach, or maybe to hire a coach. If you don't have one, maybe you've made it this far on your own, great stuff. But maybe it's time to take that next level and get someone in your corner who, again, has had the experience, can look at it with kind of from an outside eye, to maybe just see that probably one little thing or two little things that just need a little bit of a tweak or an adjustment, and then you'll hit the ground running again. So again, just to recap, first part of halftime, you usually get some downtime, a few moments to yourself, hydrate up, get to your locker, reflect on what's been going on. So I encourage you, take that time, block some time off in this next week or so for some self-care, whatever you prefer. And those of you just tuning in, or again, if you're on recording, feel free to share your favorite self-care routines or regimens in the chats here to help each other think of some ideas and block some time for ourselves. Then block some time off and sit and revisit what's been working, what wasn't working. What did life throw at me? How can I counterpunch this? What's my new plan of attack? Or what do I need to modify or tweak? Or did what life threw at me kind of knock me off my game plan? Have I strayed away from my plan to an answer to what life hit me with? Maybe I just need to get refocused and get back on my plan because it was good. I just need to get back and focus with it. And that happens to all of us in life. So take your time, a little you care, revisit everything, look at those adjustments again, talk to your coach, or maybe it's time to hire a coach. If you're at that point where things are just spinning your wheels, you're not sure where to go or what the next step is, great time to bring that person on to be in your corner and offer you that guidance and mentorship and coaching to get you through the rest of the year. And then again, usually at the end of the halftime, sometimes the coach will give you a few moments again to just rehuddle, warm up again, see how things are going. Usually there's a bit of a team cheer. So cheer for yourself, give yourself that pat on your back. You deserve it. Again, celebrate the victories that you've had so far. Celebrate the lessons you've learned from things that didn't work so far. Not everything is going to be smooth sailing. So celebrate the victories, but celebrate that you're learning from when you were not so successful as well. That's totally fine. That's part of the voyage, is the wins and we'll say losses for lack of a better word, but maybe we'll call them turnovers since we're using a halftime reference and we're not finished the game quite yet. You make baskets, you miss baskets. You learn from them. Okay, I need to not shoot that when this person's right in my face. It's a harder shot. Or you know what? Instead of a 3, I should have taken a step in, a shot a 2-pointer. It's more in my range. Next time, I'm going to shoot a little closer. And you learn from those experiences. And that's part of halftime as well. And that's what we can do here. And then we head back to, again, I'll use basketball as more my sport, but any sport really. You go back out, usually there's a bit of a warm-up period. You do layup lines again, do some shots, get your body warmed up, your mind, fire it up again. Same thing, let's ease back into things. Let's start a plan. We have some us time. We review things. We make our counter plans if we need to, or our adjusted plans, or just a commitment to ourselves to get back on track, whatever the case may be. Now let's ease into it a little bit. Let's plan when we're going to start and get back into that goal. Or what are we going to do tomorrow to get that process going again? So again, give yourself some time to really revisit this. Maybe take a couple days where you don't worry too much about progress. Unless things are going well, then maybe you just keep going. But if you need that time, maybe take a couple days to clear your mind, reorganize yourself, reorganize your thoughts, and then plan your attack of how to get back into it. And then pick up right where you left off. And we always want to come out of halftime with positive momentum. We want to run the ball at them. We want to try to score points and shut them down on defense. We want to have good momentum coming out of the halftime. So hopefully we can pad our lead. We can add to it. If we need to draw closer to them, if they're leading, we can do that. but we don't want to dig ourselves into a bigger hole. We want to at least keep that hole hopefully getting smaller if there is one, and then positively moving forward from that. So we want to hit this third quarter, hit the ground running, have our game plans set, know what our offense is, know what our defense is going to be. We know now kind of what life is going to throw at us, or what it has been. And hopefully, again, with this experience, we'll have a better idea of what could happen in the second half of the year. And maybe that's part of your revisiting too, is looking at from June to December, the rest of your year. And just like we did back in January, plan out those 3-6 months ahead. What's going to come up? What's happening? There's holidays. There's holidays from now pretty much till Christmas, at least one a month, I believe, almost every month. Pretty much every month there's at least a one day of a holiday there. Maybe not November, depending where you are. But you're going to have something. So look at those, plan those in, figure those out. What's going to happen during those holidays? Is that going to throw your hey, Bonnie, welcome in. Is that going to throw your progress off a little bit towards your goal? Do you need to modify and tweak? Do you need to maybe put a little more effort in here in the second half, the third quarter? Do you need to hit the ground running? Because the fourth quarter is going to be really tight because we're in Christmas, there's Thanksgiving, all kinds of things coming up. So is that going to affect your productivity or your progression towards your goal? Again, take a look at those things. Try to be as proactive as we can so that, again, we can try to plan and prepare for these obstacles as much as possible so that we're not caught off guard by them so much as we can. Again, life's going to happen. Things are going to come up. But the more we can look ahead and try to prepare for some of these, maybe what you think is going to happen won't, but hopefully your plan you have in place will help whatever does come up, if it's something kind of completely different. Hopefully that makes sense. So we want to hit the ground running. Again, look ahead, see what your schedule looks like the next few months. Make that part of your revision as well. And really hit the ground running in that third quarter. Again, use the time over the summer to your advantage. Maybe you're away over the summer. Maybe you have vacations. Maybe the summertime is where you take more of your time off. So maybe, again, you have to factor that in for now. Maybe you hit the ground running where you can, modify now as you need to, and then maybe in the fall you pick things back up because maybe your schedule is more normal. You're back to your regular routine. Again, we're all different. There's no one answer here. It really depends what works best for you. That's why we have to take that time to look and reflect and read and think ahead and see what is going to work best for us. So again, I encourage you to really take that time. Whether I know, again, some of you use tonight as your kind of personal development time. Take a look at PatFacts and you spend some time after working on that. If that's your time, great. Try to book that in again over the next couple of weeks. If not, whatever you do for you, whatever works for your time and your schedule. But really try to take some time for yourself and really try to revisit, again, what's working, what's not working, what's worked before, what's coming up in these next few months. How could that affect your schedule and your progress and you're working towards your goals? And then what can you do to, again, be proactive as much as you can? Proactive. Hopefully by now, after 6 months, we have a system in place, or a pretty good system, that, again, we can plug into different avenues if we need to, and or that has a bit of a contingency plan. We talked about, again, earlier this year or late last year. Those contingency plans are there for when things come up. And you just take contingency plan from this issue and you just plug it into this issue or circumstance that's come up. Because we never know really what's going to be thrown our way. So again, not a super long episode tonight. I just wanted to touch base finally again after 2 weeks. Thanks for your patience the last couple of weeks with the cancellations. Hopefully now we're back for a few at least. We'll try to keep you posted or find alternatives. But I just want to remind you again, we're about halfway through the halfway point of the month of the year. Sorry, this is month 6. We're at the 14th. So again, a great time. Probably works out timing wise now, maybe to again, book your self-care time, have that downtime, get away from the goal setting a little bit. Just give your mind a little mental break from it. Find something you appreciate, you enjoy doing. Again, feel free to share your favorite self-care tips in the chats here to help each other get ideas and suggestions as well. Then take your time, block some time off, revisit what you've been doing. What's working, what's not working, what is life throwing at me? How did I respond? How could I respond differently next time? Create those plans, those systems, so again, they're in place. And then look ahead to the next 6 months. What's coming? How's the schedule going to change? What do I need to watch out for? When are the times when maybe I can't really bunker down and give maybe 7 days a week to this? Maybe I can only give a couple days a week to it during this time frame. Do I need to start more aggressive now and then peter off, or vice versa? Again, you know your schedule and you know you and how you need to work. But look ahead. Try to be as proactive as you can. And remember, thanks, Bonnie. Have a great evening as well. Remember, gang, as we mentioned as well, another sports kind of reference, you always have timeouts. So you go through halftime, you make your plan, you do your warm-up, ease into it a little bit, get back on track, get things going. But if you need to at any time, you can call a timeout. You're not limited on those like you would be in maybe a sports league. Call as many as you need, but again, just use them wisely. And try to have a plan to come out of the timeout. Maybe the timeout's a day or two to revisit things, talk with your coach, talk with someone you're maybe accountability partner that you're on this journey with. Maybe you talk to them about what's been working, what's not, what can we do differently, and then jump back into it, get back into it. Have that plan to come out of the timeout. Just make sure you're not calling timeouts back to back to back. Call a timeout, get back in the game for a bit, and then if you need to, call that next timeout when it's required. So let's hit the ground running again. Let's get that self-care in. Let's give ourselves just a break away from things. Let's celebrate the success we've had so far. Then let's revisit what we've been doing, tweak and adjust where we need to. Again, reach out to a coach if you're in that spot and you're not sure quite how to get out of it. Get yourself back into it. Think of how you're going to come out of halftime. What's your plan coming out of halftime? How you do with the warm-up line? Get kind of things back into routine a little bit. And then when the half starts, hit the ground running. Get that good momentum because you're prepared for what's to come in the next 6 months of this year as we're working towards finishing our 2023 goals that we started back in October. Because if it's June, July, August, September, October, we're about 4 months away from gearing up for next year with our goal setting and our resolutions time. We don't want to wait till January 1st. We always, and again, in the fall, get started with those. So we want to have a good game plan for this year, have things going. Hopefully this goal will lead into next one, or the success of it at least will help kind of feed that fire towards the next one as well. So again, any comments, any questions you have, let me know. If you're not sure, again, you want to reach out via DM and set up a call or chat about what's going on, we can definitely do that for you. Hopefully everyone has a great week. We'll see you back here next Wednesday at 6. Again, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Nats, you can go ahead and do a rate if there is one. Again, feel free to reach out anytime if you have any questions. Right, Bonnie? Yes, ridiculous how time flies. I know, it's crazy. Hard to believe it's the middle of June already. And it feels like we just started January. That's really crazy. So time flies when you're having fun, they say. We'll go with that and say that's what it is. Thanks, everybody. Okay, Nat, sounds good. Thanks, everybody, again, for being here. All the best. Again, if you're watching this on recording or live, share your self-care tips. Any questions you have are just fine. Hey, K-Man, welcome in. Are fine as well. Stay safe. Take care of each other. And remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe. Take care. And we'll talk to you next week.